This is what a regular cell looks like. Notice the rounded shape. And this is what a sickle cell looks like. It's called a sickle cell because it's curved and shaped like that, like a sickle.
Boy, I think about it every night and day. I'm addicted, wanna jump inside your love. I wouldn't wanna have it any other way. I'm addicted and I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
Sickle cell can also be called drepanocytosis. This happens when a person inherits abnormal hemoglobin in their blood from their parents. Hemoglobin is used to transport oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. So you can guess what happens if it's abnormal. If a child inherits one sickle cell gene, that means that he or she has sickle cell trait. They're a carrier, so they don't show the trait, but they could potentially pass it on to the next generation.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be.
However, if the child is unfortunate enough to inherit two sickle cell genes, that means he or she has sickle cell disease, which is also known as sickle cell anemia. Healthy red blood cells live 90 to 120 days, but sickle cells only live 10 to 20 days. Bone marrow tries to compensate by making new cells, but it just can't keep up with the rate of destruction. This disease cannot be contracted because it is sex-linked through the joining of the sperm and the egg. This is an insertion mutation because the wrong kind of amino acid was inserted. In other words, at the 6th gene code position, and these are amino acids, glutamic acid, which is hydrophilic, is replaced with the hydrophobic valine. This leads to some pretty bad symptoms. One with this disease can experience fatigue, episodes of pain, swollen hands and feet, frequent infections, delayed growth, vision problems, abdominal swelling, fever, pale skin or nail beds, yellow tint to skin or whites of the eyes, and any signs or symptoms of a stroke. The episodes of pain are also known as crises. They can last 5 to 7 days and take the form of vaso-occlusive crisis, aplastic crisis, sequestrian crisis, or hemolytic crisis. In areas where malaria is common, such as Africa, there's actually a fitness benefit in having sickle cell trait. All hope is not lost, however. In 1973, the lifespan for a person with this disease was only 14 years. Today, it's gone up to 50 years. But women tend to live longer than their male counterparts. About 90% of people will survive to age 20, but 50% will survive to age 50. This is because of the different treatments that have been discovered. Treatments include bone marrow transplant, medications including antibiotics, pain relieving, and hydroxyurea, immunizations to prevent infections, blood transfusion, supplemental oxygen, gene therapy, nitric oxide, and drugs to boost hemoglobin production, which seems like the most obvious solution, seeing as with anemia you're losing hemoglobin. Wouldn't you just want to replace it? Today in the U.S., it is estimated that over 70,000 people have sickle cell disease and over 20 million people have sickle cell trait. Sickle cell disease has been shown to be more common in certain races. These races include, but are not limited to, African, Portuguese, Spanish, French, Sardinians, mainland Indians, Greeks, Turks, and Cypriots, as well as countries in the Middle East and in Asia. Carriers often undergo genetic counseling before having a trial because they're hoping they won't pass on the dominant gene to their child, which will lead them to have sickle cell anemia. One can test to see if their unborn child is infected by taking a blood sample or an amniotic sample. Children born with sickle cell disease will take a folic acid supplement for life and penicillin daily until they are 5. This protects their immature immune system. James B. Herrick, Chicago cardiologist and professor of medicine, discovered sickle cell disease. Inpatient Walter Clement Noel. Bernie Mason named this disease sickle cell in 1922. In 1979, the type of mutation was discovered. Please donate to help those dealing with this awful disease.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Gotta get that.
An insertion. This is an insertion. Yellow tint to, or an amniotic. These will take penicillin. Wait, no. Yeah, wait, no, they take folic acid. Chicago cardiologist and professor.